Hello and welcome to this video. This is CraftyRia, and today we're going to be recycling some Christmas cards, of course, but they're kind of a little bit of a surprise. So I first want to say that this video is dedicated to my husband's work friend Matt and his beautiful wife Erin. They are huge Ohio State fans, and Matt does watch my videos. And he does comment to my husband about the videos, and I do appreciate all of your positive comments, Matt. Thank you very much. So I was digging through my cards today, and I decided that I would recycle these cards in honor of Matt and Erin. So here we go. These are the cards. We're going to be doing a couple of Ohio State cards. Matt and Erin are huge Ohio State fans. We're Ohio State fans as well, but I don't think anybody is as big of an Ohio State fan as Matt and Erin. They got married at Ohio State, and during their photo shoot, Brutus showed up. And I think this picture on this card is probably Erin and Brutus right there. Who knew, right? So anyway, I decided to go ahead and use these two cards and recycle them today in a video dedicated to Matt. And I hope everybody enjoys this video. And Matt, I sure hope you're watching. And if you are watching, please leave me a comment below. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're going to start with this card. This looks like an ugly Christmas sweater. Or let's just say a Christmas sweater, because Ohio State fans are going to get mad at me if I say it's ugly. So we'll start with this one here. I have a couple of these 5x7 card backs that I'm going to use. I'm going to use this one for this. I thought the red went well behind it because I don't really want to take away too much from the front, and I don't have any that's this gray color. Their colors are scarlet and gray, so I thought that would be pretty good against that. We'll have to trim it down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get my paper trimmer and just cut off the back as usual, as close to the fold as I can get it. And then I'm going to, I think I'm going to try to cut out the red words here. I'm going to try to cut as close as I can to, first of all, there's sticky stuff on the back of this. I need to cut that piece off because it's driving me crazy. Okay. Crazier for anybody that knows me. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off those words. We'll go this way. Right underneath where it says brings warmth and joy. There we go. And then I'm going to cut, I should have done this cut first. I'm going to cut this off. I'm looking underneath this piece of plastic. I'm lining the paper up along a line right there and pushing down real hard on this plastic to give that an even cut. Let's see if I can get this out. It's kind of stuck. There's some sticky tape on the back. Okay, and then this part will be easy. I'm just trimming off the sentiment. There. And I like that because it says in winter's cold, because that's a picture of a sweater on the front. So let's see how much we're going to need to cut this down for the front. I'm going to need to take off a little bit from the top and the bottom in order for it to line up. So I'm going to take off, eyeballing it, about that much off of one side and about the same amount off of the bottom. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to need to take off a little bit of each side, left to right. I don't know that I want to take much more off this side because it's already cut into that O. So let me see how it lines up before I take any more. I think that's going to be fine. It has just maybe a 1/16 of an inch border around the edges. So since the Ohio State colors are scarlet and gray, I have some gray ribbon. Since this is like a sweater, I want to dress it up a little bit, but not too much. But I have this ribbon that's gray with a silver edge, and I thought I would put it on the top and the bottom up there. That doesn't take away too much from the design of the card. So I'll move that out of the way. Cut 2 pieces of this ribbon, one for the top and one for the bottom. I just want to leave a little bit to overhang to wrap around the back. This is Oh So Trendy Accents. I got this from Pat Catan's when they were going out of business. I think I paid maybe 50 cents for that spool. They had like 90% off everything. Alright, so I want to kind of line them up. I want to be able to still see some of the print. I don't want to cover those up because those look like buckeyes to me. But I thought I could put a piece here and a piece here. I think that looks pretty good. So let me get my tape. And I will run a piece of tape down kind of the center of where I want to put each of those ribbons. I don't think this ribbon has a front or a back. I think that's pretty much the same on both sides. Just going to line that up. Do a better job of lining it up. I'm going to turn it around and line it up on the other side. I'm going to turn it over, and to get this ribbon to lay down flat on the back, I'm going to start my tape on the paper and run it all the way to the end of the ribbon. That way there's a double layer and it'll really stick down good to itself. And just fold it over. That way on the front of the card there's a nice clean edge and it won't fray. So we have a nice folded edge that will show on the front of the card. So then I can go ahead and take this and mat it down onto the card. And when I do this, I like to make sure I get my tape on the ribbon and then on the cardstock around the ribbon, just so it holds down really, really good. Just going to line it up on the card. I hold the 2 opposite corners, and then the other corners I just kind of eyeball with my eyes to get it to be as straight as I can. So I was digging through my stash and I found some of these leftover stickers, and I thought this Joy to You was really good for Ohio State because it's got the red and white twine, and it's also the gray color. So I have to decide just where I want to put it. I think I could just get away with putting it right on that ribbon right at the top. This is raised up on some sticky foam. But since I'm sticking it to ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this art glitter glue to it, just to give it a little more, I guess, tooth, or a little more stickiness to seep down into the fibers of that ribbon to hold it down in place. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it to try to get it in the center. There we go. So we have that. I also have some of these ribbons from the Dollar Tree, and I think I might want to just put one of these red ribbons, one of these red bows, down at the bottom here, just kind of in the middle, just to add something sparkly to the bottom. Because kind of on a sweater you might have a bow. So there you go. That is that card done. Well, not quite done, actually. I need to put this sentiment on the inside of the card. I have this red construction paper, and I thought I would mount it on here, since the red is really, really a good Christmas red, and it's a good Ohio State red. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on this. And just line it up on here. And since the sentiment is so small, I think I'm going to make it kind of a big border around it, just so it stands out and doesn't get lost on the back of that card, or on the inside of that card, I should say. Go ahead and put it in here. Just eyeball it so it's about the same. There. And I think I'll use some of the glue for the inside. Sometimes it's hard to get tape to stick good to the construction paper because the fibers of the construction paper fall apart when you try to put the tape on it. The tape is strong enough and it pulls them apart. But the art glitter glue seems to really hold it down well. There. So there's one card done. I thought that's really kind of cool. And let's move on to the next card. We have this one, and I thought it would go on this yellow background because there's a lot of yellow in the fireplace. I thought it would really make it pop. Get my paper trimmer and just trim this out again. I'm going to cut it as close to that fold as I can. And while we're at it, I'll cut the sentiment out. So let's see how much of this I need to trim away. I think it's pretty good from top to bottom. I just need to take a sliver off the side. And I will take a sliver off of this side since we won't lose anything. And that does give just a little bit of a yellow border. I think I'm going to take just a little bit more off of that side and a little bit more off the bottom. Just to give it just a little more of a border. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not wrapping anything around this, so I'm going to go ahead and just stick it down onto there, and then I will do the rest of my blinging it up. Then for this card, I'm going to start with using this Clear Star glitter pen. It's a jelly roll pen, and it writes in a kind of like a clear glitter. It's very fine. He has this coffee mug with some steam coming up, and I thought I would add some of the glitter to the steam. And it's kind of a clear glitter, and I'm just going over it just to give that some sparkle. You could probably see it on there a little bit. And since that is a glass or a can or something that might be sparkly, or I guess I'm like a ceramic mug, I'm going to go ahead and add some of the glitter to the actual mug itself. I'm sure it's not coming out on camera nearly as good as it's coming out in person, but it looks kind of pretty. And then for the rest of the card, I'm going to be using some stickles. I haven't used stickles in quite some time. So I have a goodie bag here full of stickles. I keep them stored upside down so I can get to them really easily. I'm going to try to start at the top of the card and work down so I don't get my hand in any of the glitter. I have gold. They're both gold. Okay. Gold is one of my favorite colors of stickles. It is really bright and shiny, and I think I'm going to just put some around these frames. I'm going to keep a piece of scrap paper over here so I can just run the stickles off to begin with. Okay, so that gold is done on the frames. I don't know if you can see it really good on there, but it is very shiny. There's a bunch of garland here, and there's some red berries in the garland. So I'm going to take some red. This isn't stickles, this is Studio G glitter glue. Same thing as stickles, pretty much, in red. And I will make some of those berries sparkly red. And to make something nice and round, I just squeeze out a dot and lift straight up. Okay, and then we have the fire in here, which I thought would be really pretty if I did in some of this orange. This is also Studio G. I think this was from their Halloween collection. It's a really pretty orange. So I'm just going to put a couple pieces up and down in this fire. And since fire has several colors in it, I'm going to put a couple little red dots down in here as well. I'm going to run off some of that onto my scrap paper just to make sure I didn't get any orange in the red. And then I'm going to do the same with the gold. I'm going to add a little bit of gold into this. When that dries, that should be really pretty in there. And that's all I'm going to do to that card. I will also mat the sentiment and put the sentiment on the inside. Let me get my messy piece away before I make a mess with it. And since this is a larger sentiment, I'm going to mat it with kind of a smaller edge, not big like I did the other one. And then once the front of this card is dry, I will stick this down on the inside. I don't want to open it all the way right now. I'll put that there so it reminds me. So there we go. We have this really pretty OSU card. It is probably Brutus or someone sitting here in front of the fire, drinking a steamy mug of coffee. He's got all his family photos up there, and then we have this other Ohio State sweater card. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Matt, I sure hope you're watching. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you are an Ohio State fan, please leave me a comment below. And if you're not, leave a comment anyway and let me know what team you root for. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. There will be plenty more videos to come. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day and go get crafting. Bye-bye.